Amanda, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. The first question, as always, what's your background? What did you do before starting this company?
So my background is that I was at a consulting firm in New York, and at that consulting firm, I was in the organization practice, really focused on women and also, how organizations can work better. And before that, I was at UC Berkeley in California. So, and then Levo, and Levo is Latin for elevate, and it's all about bringing women together to help one another in their careers.
How did you come up with the name? Did it take you a while to search in the library for some cool word?
Yes, actually. So both my co-founder and I, Caroline, whom I met the first day at our first jobs at the consulting firm, both of us actually took Latin up. And so when we were trying to think of a name for a site, and what really encapsulated what we wanted to do, we turned to Latin and we started looking at all these Latin words, and Levo really stuck with us. And the idea of elevation and of people coming together, and that's the whole idea of a league, it's just so powerful, and we just do a fun alliteration. So
Levo also means to smooth things up, right? To improve things.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just kind of it's just great. It's really fun, and it's also really serious at the same time. It's about moving over things, making it a smooth process, really finding what you want to do with your life, and figuring out a way how the women and men can help support you in how you want to be able to do those things.
Right. So how did you come up with the idea of Levo League?
So we came up with it really from what we were facing. So Caroline and I, we created this company and this community because it was something we wanted to be a part of. Graduating from college and figuring out what you want to do with your life is terrifying. And Levo is all about helping make that just a little less terrifying. And so it's about connecting women with one another to learn from one another. It's about helping you find access to your role models, to sponsors, and to mentors, and also helping connect you with companies that want to hire really smart, educated women.
So how does it work? You basically provide, women with a community to share and be mentored.
Yeah. So the best part about Levo is we're facilitating all these things. So we've built both an online product that makes the community, and also an offline product which creates community offline. And you can join twice a week and see role models and career coaches and ask them questions directly in our live video broadcasts. You can also create a profile and search for jobs. You can also search for other amazing women that maybe you want to connect with and be friends with. And then we created something called Local Levo, which is our offline location-based groups that meet once a month, and they do things like read books, talk about books, to working out together, to workshops where they talk about negotiating a salary, to starting small pockets of going and mentoring current college students. And so we're just really facilitating the opportunities for people to come together and take action in their career.
So Levo League is for it's mainly for women, right? And then or guys as well, can they participate somehow?
Yes, so men are, of course, welcome to join. And actually, men tend to be some of our biggest advocates and referrers of other women. Guys, they've been so supportive and so excited also to learn a bit more about how we approach our career and kind of the differences that women see going into their career and the behaviors. So men have been great. We call them our man-ambassadors.
Right. So what does it take for one to join you? Is it like online registration? What sort of criteria you use?
So the only criteria that Levo has is you need to have the desire to improve and to become a better professional, and also be willing to help others and willing to take help. So Levo is all about elevating, and so we really believe that everyone that's a part of this community wants to be here. They want to help other people, and they want help.
So how many members you have currently?
So we do not release our member numbers, but we have a lot, and we're actually in London, and so there's a really big group growing in London. So
Right.
Make sure all the women that are watching this, if you're in London, we are there, and you can find us on the site. And we also, international expansion is definitely something we're interested in. I absolutely cannot wait to get out to Australia, Europe. We're going to be all over Europe, and then also in really excited for South America and South Africa.
Wow, that's a global expansion we're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's the best thing about Levo is it's about bringing people together. And as this world continues to become more global, the connections you make on Levo are going to be so powerful.
Right, right. In British Wired magazine, there was something mentioned about the workplace for women as a main economic problem. It was said that the issue of women in the workplace is not women's issue anymore. It's an economic problem.
Yep.
Can you expand on it? Is it really tough right now?
So there's a couple ways to look at this. Individual, when we look at the individual, women tend to start their first jobs at about $5,000 less in salary. And so one of the calculations I saw was over 50 years, you're losing $600,000 at minimum from starting behind. So think of all of that cash and spending power. And then the second part is we're seeing women drop out of companies. So we're losing really great talent because companies aren't quite sure how to retain that talent. And us as women too aren't quite sure how to stay. And so we're trying to help solve all of those problems. And our solution to that is to facilitate change through people coming together and discussing it and working on strategies and support and also helping them find their dream job so that they're more likely to stay in the workforce.
Right. I read one of the interviews with Caroline. She said that, when it comes to job hunting, men can satisfy 50-60% and apply for a job. But when it comes to women, it should be at least 90%. Why there is a massive difference between?
Oh my goodness. There's so many reasons that this could be. A lot of it, and when we talk with our community, a lot of it is us kind of being like, oh my gosh, I'm scared to apply for this. I don't have all the qualifications. I'm not there. I'm not perfect. I'm not the perfect candidate. Whereas a lot of our guys, and we have guys come and they'll talk about this, they're like, oh, I can do that. You know what? Okay, figure it out. And it's really, really great to make that statistic aware, because what we've seen is women may not apply because they don't have 3 years of experience. They only have 2. And it's like, it's okay, still apply. Go for it. And so that, even just that awareness has been really powerful for women to see.
Wow. Well, you have I've just recently read a list of people who support Levo League. And, I was more than impressed. I mean, having said that I was impressed means, saying nothing. You have Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook, right? CEO of Facebook. How did you manage to get those people on board? What's the secret here?
Oh, there's no secret. There is hard work, determination, and reaching out and being really prepared and being comfortable asking. Something that both Caroline and I had to learn to do is how to ask. And it's kind of uncomfortable to ask for things, to ask for help, to ask for money, but being really prepared and showing a determination to succeed and also a determination to help other people is exactly what you have to do.
Wow. So for instance, if someone enters Levo League, right? He can get some mentorship from people like Sheryl Sandberg, as far as I get it, right?
Yeah. So you can find, the really cool part, and this is, you're going to see a lot of this in the spring, is you're going to see more mentors and roles and sponsors on the site sharing whether it's through a one-on-one video chat or a one-on-one video chat, or if it's them answering questions that have been posed to them, or writing articles, or just sharing a blog post, or sharing what they read. You're going to be able to connect and see those things. And the access, like yesterday we had Kate White, the former editor-in-chief of Cosmo, spend a half an hour talking to our community. I mean, telling all the women out there when she was in her 20s, she was wildly insecure and it was terrifying. And you know what? Telling everyone here, her big advice is go big or go home. And like just getting that, you just get pumped up from the access you're getting on Levo.
Wow. But I mean, obviously I can understand what the community gets from big, women, those who reach a lot in their life, successful women. But what those speakers get from the community? What's the main motive, if you want?
So think about people who have succeeded. They want to share with other people and they want to help others. And I think the best part about Levo is that the women and men who come to spend the time mentoring, sponsoring, sharing their experiences is because they want to see this generation of women, the Gen Y women, succeed too. And they want to help them. And that's, you know, they're looking for opportunities that are easy and less stressful and that can just provide a platform to be able to share their experiences and help other people. And we're giving direct access. We make it really easy, and they see a reward from doing it. So,
right. So, in a way, you are a startup, as far as I understand. So, Levo League is a startup. You guys were launched probably in March 2012, right? So it's less than a year ago. So, how is it going so far from the monetary perspective?
Oh my goodness, it's just I can't even put into words how much fun and how exciting and just how powerful it's been. And, you know, I never thought about being an entrepreneur, but I knew that this was what I wanted to do, was help others understand, you know, how to succeed. And with LG Start, we've just been able to help so many people. The community is powerful, and you know, from helping women get jobs to asking for a raise to meeting their best friend or finding a, we're seeing all of these things happen because of Levo. And that's just, I don't think there's a better feeling or better company to be a part of right now.
Right. Plus, it's a social mission you're doing right now. It's not purely business, it's social mission, right? But then, how does your business model work? Is it like based on membership fees or somehow different way?
Yeah, so this is a great question because I think what we're going to see is a larger trend overall of businesses that are for social good. And so I think those are the best businesses overall, are the ones that have a positive impact on the world and also make money. And so right now companies pay Levo League for access to these to the incredible talent that we have on the site. We have the smartest women in their 20s and 30s that are determined and want to find an organization where they can make a difference and also develop professionally. So we're providing companies with those women. So they're really excited about Levo too.
Wow. So you have such companies as eBay. Who else you have on board right now?
Oh my goodness. So I think just recently we have a, you know, there's a really cool posting from the Guild Group to be the community manager for Jet Setter. Community manager. I was like, that is a cool job. All the way to, we have jobs from care.com to AOL to nonprofits such as Pencils of Promise to the New York Times. Like the New York Times, oh my goodness. These are all companies that, you know, before had been kind of, how do you get to them? How do you find the recruiter there? How in the door? And the best part about Levo is that when you apply for a job on Levo, they already know you kind of done the first round of interviews, because if you're applying at Levo, that means you're already an educated, determined, you know, kick butt woman.
Wow. So in a way, you do some part of the jobs for big recruiters.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, right. So what's your personal role in the company?
So I do a couple things. I have a couple different hats at Levo, which I absolutely love. My first role is to, you know, really get to know our community and our users. I think, and that's also what I'm most passionate about. I absolutely love getting to know the individual women and listening to them and hearing from them and finding out what we can build to help make their lives better. So that's, I would say, like a community organizer and direct, like frontline user conversationalist. And then I also work really closely with our companies that hire on the site. And so that's really a passion of mine too, is that organizational behavior and hiring. So I get really excited to get to know recruiters, HR managers, and also C-suite executives, and get to talk to them about, you know, the incredible Gen Y women that are out there and want to work at their company.
Wow. So what does your working day look like? Do you like meet lots of people, make lots of calls, you know, stay over the weekends in the office?
Oh my goodness. Well, obviously our office is really nice, but my day is a bit insane and it changes every day. But I try to make sure that every day I'm doing something that is building and is getting to to know new people. And so a lot of my goal is to meet new people and to also continue nurturing relationships with people I have met. So I get to do cool things like talk to you and do interviews. I also get to spend time thinking through sales strategies and different ways that we can market Levo, and also just identify cool women we want to become friends with, and we want to be a part of Levo and reach out to them and share our story and get them to share their stories. So it's a lot of relationships, which is exactly what I love doing. You can't shut me up. So
That's great, but I presume there are lots of work that you do every day. Was it hard to start up originally? I mean, the idea that you're doing, probably it's something unique, and you can say that, you know, there are lots of companies around who do the same stuff. So probably you faced some sort of, you know, probably not everybody believed in the idea. So was it hard to start up?
oh my goodness. So starting a company is the most terrifying, ridiculous thing you'll ever do. It is not easy. It pulls on your emotions. It pulls on your stamina. It pulls on your just everything. It's the most rewarding, amazing thing you will ever do, but it is exhausting. And there are moments when you just sit there and you're like, okay, and you have to you're just like one foot in front of the other. And so that's how I like to look at it, is just, you know what can I get done today? What can I do? And what have I done? And what have we done as a team? And so some of the things that have made it a bit easier and, you know, is to look at what you've accomplished and to know that, oh my God, awful things are going to happen all day, like things that are going to stress you out. There's no way to stop them. You're a business owner now. Everything from, you know, the air conditioning doesn't work anymore, to, oh my goodness, our servers are down, to like, what do we need to hire someone. How do we do that? And it can be really overwhelming. So a lot of it is just taking a step back and trying to see a bigger picture and really understanding what you're building, having a really clear mission about what you're building. And for Caroline and I, we are very clear about what we want to build. We want to build a place, both online and offline, that helps women achieve in their careers and take action in their careers. And so having that strong mission, it really helps when it gets tough, is to be able to fall back on that.
So you help women within the first 10 years of their career.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
Well, you know, then so we're going to grow, but we started really specifically right now. And our belief is that the connections that you make on Levo are going to be invaluable. And those connections you make through the Levo League are going to be what gets you your next job and what supports you at all stages of your career. So our goal was to start right out the gate, and we saw a real need for support in those early career stages. And so one day we'll probably do later stage career help as well, but right now we're really focused on building those connections that are going to stay with you for the rest of your life.
Right. I read that you managed to raise more than $1 million, you know, on the first stage of your development. For those people who are more like practice-minded, right, who want to do the same stuff as you, since you got an experience, what would you say? How you should pitch investors, or, you know, what's the best way to get funds for a startup?
The best way is to build a business model. That is the absolute best way. Identify the market, identify how you're going to make money, and show that. So get in there, get into the Excel, put numbers in there. Even if they're numbers that you're not sure you can maybe reach, put in what the size of this is, and also dream really, really big. That was some of the best feedback that we got, was stop thinking so small. Think bigger. And especially for women, sometimes we hold ourselves back in that same way of that 60% of the qualifications to 100% of the qualifications. You gotta think really, really big. And so that was one of the things that Caroline and I did really well, is we sat together, we built a business model, we identified how big this could be, and we started to convince ourselves we could make it that big.
Wow. Do you have some disagreements from time to time, or you keep to the core values, the one that you built before?
So that's a great question. And I think what's really important is to find a co-founder that complements your strengths. And so we are really good about talking through things that we might disagree with. But a lot of times we don't tend to disagree because we trust each other. And because we know when it comes, we very clearly delineated what decisions should be made by who. And that's because what are our strengths? What are our areas of expertise? And that doesn't mean that I might not have input about something, but it means that I have input, but I trust that her decision, she has more information and more expertise around that. So, of course, there's always disagreements, and I think that disagreements are what make you stronger. But the important part is that we are able to come from a structured point of view and discuss them and figure out what's best for Levo. And both of us want what's best for Levo.
Sure, sure. So, since you're an entrepreneur right now, and you just mentioned all those hardships that you had to go through, wouldn't it be just easier to pursue some office career?
So, maybe not. So the thing is, what's important is, the best advice I've ever been given, identify a mission. So identify what you are passionate about and what you want to do and what you want to do in the world. And if I could help women at the scale I'm helping them through working at another company, I would have done that. But for me, my mission and goal was to figure out how to help other women succeed in their careers. And like I said before, I didn't think that would be as an entrepreneur. I thought it was going to be as a professor, but as an entrepreneur, I've been able to do so much. So really, it's identifying your mission and what you want to accomplish and the path that will enable you to do that. And for me, that was entrepreneurship.
Do you have any favorite entrepreneur?
Oh my goodness. I am such a huge fan of Jack Dorsey. I just think, Square is cool. And Twitter is, it's Twitter. And I just, I think he's very cool. And Gina Bianchini, the founder and CEO of Mighty Bell, she was at Ning before. She created Ning. I just think she's a role model, sponsor, and mentor to me. And when you can have one person who's all three of those, I think you hit the jackpot. And I think I admire her so much. And I just love what she's been able to do and her advice and how willing she is to give back to other people.
Any favorite book about entrepreneurship or succeeding in life so you could recommend to our viewers right now?
Oh my goodness, I'm a book person, so I'm trying to think. A book I really loved reading was Tony Hsieh's Delivering Happiness from Zappos. That book was just fabulous. And it was what I really loved about that book was it got you in the mind of an entrepreneur and understanding that this is how to be, but also understanding how important it is to build the culture you want to build. And I think, he's also someone I really admire, and I really admire the business he's built. And I believe that the reason his business has been so wonderful is because of the incredible culture and the people he's brought into his company. So that would be a great book. I would suggest reading that book. It's really powerful.
Well, thanks for that. Let's speak a little bit about education, because you deal with young people who just graduated from university or college or something else, and probably they get there something and then they didn't expect, or maybe they missed something while studying, or maybe they didn't get what they expected in advance, right? What do you think about the education, the current state, and the future of education?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things. I think higher education, I'm the daughter of a professor, and I was thinking about becoming a professor. And so I think the role of higher education is to help develop you, so the whole role of education is to help you become a contributing citizen and a smart, socially minded person who respects other people and understands the world and can give back to the world. And I think a liberal education, like liberal arts, reading, literature, art, sociology, psychology are so important. And something I actually fear is that we're seeing all this pressure to build skills for the workforce versus build minds. And I think it's really important that higher education is about helping you think and develop your ways of processing the world and thinking through how people connect and thinking about how to be a good contributor to society. I think there are opportunities to take courses or classes that focus on tangible skills, but I don't think that's the responsibility of higher education. I think that's the individual's responsibility. So I think the biggest waste of time would be for a professor who's this brilliant mind to sit and teach me how to use Excel, when I can learn how to do Excel from an online course or from a friend. And so I think that's what needs to be focused on. And I think we need to be a bit better. And what I've seen women do really well is take the responsibility to learn those things and to read about them and to seek out those opportunities to learn those things outside of a higher education course. Because to me, I want that amazing researcher and mind of a professor to be helping me think about how I see and process the world, not necessarily sitting down to teach me how to make a financial model.
What was your favorite subject back in the university days?
So social psychology is my absolute favorite. I just love how it kind of incorporates both this idea of seeing the institutions around you and then also the individual. So it's kind of like, how do the organizations affect me, and then how do I affect those organizations and the people around me? So I was incredibly fascinated by that.
Great. Since you work with lots of entrepreneurs and successful people and young people as well, you probably have some better understanding of the future in terms of, which areas or which particular industry is going to flourish later on within the next 5-10 years. Could you share this a little bit? Where new fortune is going to be built soon?
So what we see a lot is we're going to see a lot more of combining the offline with online. And I think you're seeing that in a lot of the sites out there, such as TaskRabbit, that's huge in the States, where you can, find someone to help you with tasks. Or even with like something like Uber, which I know is abroad too, and you can get a car service. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that technology that is helping services happen much easier in the real world. I also think there's a really big future for mobile payments. Mobile payments is going to be really exciting, and I can't wait for mobile payments to come to like public transportation. I think that's going to be really exciting. And I also think that you're going to see a lot more of these niche social networks. I think the large ones are still going to be really powerful, but I think you're going to see more of these small groups coming together, such as Path or Mighty Bell, and what Levo is doing, which is taking a subset of the population to create a social network around careers. So I think that's the direction that we're going in.
Wow. Speaking about yourself, what's your favorite social media? What do you use mostly?
Oh my goodness. I am Facebook, Twitter. I love ones. I love Facebook's been really great because I don't live in California anymore, and that's where my friends are. And it's a great way to keep find out what they're doing on their fun Friday night. And then Twitter is fantastic for finding out more information. And Levo. Levo. Honestly, I'm on Levo all day. But it's those are the big things I use, definitely.
Right. Do you have any recent example of very successful startup launch except Levo League?
So I think Peak, if you check out Peak, it's a travel startup. I think they did a great job on their site. Beautiful. And it's a really cool concept. It's innovating in the travel experience. And for me, one of my favorite things to do is to travel and to think of where I can travel in cool experiences. And it does a really great job of showing you those really cool experiences and directly puts you in touch to book them and vets them for you. Because that's always the spot traveling somewhere unknown is, wait, is it going to be worth this? What am I doing? So I love what they've done. And I think they did a great job of their launch.
Well, sounds awesome. At the end of our program, we always have a table tennis set of questions. We ask you simple questions with several options and answers, and you just pick up one.
Okay, let's do it.
Alrighty. Steve Jobs or Bill Gates?
Bill Gates.
iPhone, BlackBerry, or HTC?
BlackBerry, but I really want them to come back because I like the keys on the phone. And BBM, free international messaging.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Going to a party or staying home?
Going to a party.
Which car, BMW or Mercedes?
BMW.
Fruits and vegetables or fast food?
Vegetables and fruits.
Egg or chicken, what came first?
I plead the fifth.
Being married or not being married?
Ooh, well, I'm not married, but I'd like to be married one day.
Alright. God believer or atheist?
I don't know. Next.
That was the last one. So,
Finally, we're done.
Finally, the very last thing. For those people who are watching us right now and want to create something great but may have some doubts, what would you advise?
Here's the thing. You're always going to doubt yourself. There is not a day that I have to tell that little voice in my head saying I can't do it and I'm not good enough to shut up. And, believing in yourself is the hardest thing to do. And if you are really passionate about something and you are a determined, hard-working person, you can achieve what you want to achieve, and you gotta believe in yourself. And I know it's hard, but just believe in yourself. Tell that doubt. No one I know that is successful doesn't doubt themselves. Everyone doubts themselves, and you just gotta get over that doubt and believe in yourself. Hi everyone, this is Amanda Pouchot from the Levo League, the online community for smart women, and I'm here to talk to In2up. I'm really excited.